Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's Danny Limelight. And I need all of you to subscribe to According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and all other platforms.
What's good, party people? This is According to Woods, and I have the honor and privilege of talking one of the young bloods of Subfighter MMA in Laguna, California. He had a spectacular knockout at an undisclosed location this weekend, and that's the one that I show on all of my social medias. This is the guy. He is the one and only Mark Zarrinkelk. Mark, what's going on, bro?
Yo, what's up, Adam? How are you?
I'm so great. First off, just meeting a new friend. I thought I had a bunch of friends at Subfighter. Who does, especially in a time like this, who doesn't need more friends, right? But then also more friends doing awesome shit. Like you going to an undisclosed location and knocking a motherfucker out and having the referee catch them as they fall. Holy hell.
Yeah. We are doing some awesome shit over at Subfighter. Yeah, man. I'm super grateful for my team. I don't think any of it would have been possible without them. I mean, man, those guys, they show up day in, day out.
No, I love it. And man, that knockout, that was crazy. I shared it with everybody. It wasn't just on my page. People, I might have even shot it to Derek Lewis. I might have done that because those are things that go on the Beast UFC's Instagram page.
I didn't know. I wasn't looking for a knockout, but I kind of was. I feel like if I look for the knockout and if I try to force the knockout, I'm not going to get it. And I was at that. I mean, this was my first MMA bout. This was my first time going in there with those small ass gloves.
Mhm.
The other dude's allowed to throw as hard as he wants. I'm allowed to throw as hard as I want. We're both allowed to just do what we want to do. And yeah, man, here's the thing is I knew I had him. I don't want to sound too cocky. I hate sounding cocky and I hate gassing myself up, but man, this is the fight game. I feel like in the fight game, you gotta believe in yourself. And that's what I did. My corner kept saying, my buddy, Jeff Craig, he kept saying, Mark, believe in it. And I mean, that's what I did. And yeah, it was a great fight. I got to showcase skills, not just standing, but on the ground. In the first round, I almost put him out with ground and pound, and my corner was like, "Leo, let him up," and I was like, "I should let him up." But he did have a good Kimura. The dude was dangerous on the ground. He caught me in a Kimura and kept me there for the end of the first round. The end of the first round ended with me in a Kimura. He almost swept me, but I did this little headstand thing. I just kind of stood on my head and had my feet up and legs up in the air. Yeah, it was a spectacular fight with a good opponent. He was a game opponent. He was coming at me. He was throwing at me with everything he had. And yeah, man, it was just fun.
Which, I mean, obviously, and Straight Venom over on YouTube saying, "Yo, good morning, Straight Venom. Shout out to you, good sir and or madam." Yeah. But yeah, that was cool. Now, obviously, the terms of conditions of fight, right? This is almost a throwback to, MMA's pretty much comeuppance in the fact that, in California, a lot of fights have been canceled because guess what? COVID's happened. For CSAC, or the California State Athletic Commission, or CAMO, the California Amateur Mixed Martial Arts Organization, that is the governing body of all things, amateur MMA as well as combat jiu-jitsu. That's it. But I mean, literally at this time, I'm hearing, uh, I mean, prices of like for athletic commission fees and COVID fees and to test the card, we're in the 20 some odd thousand plus dollar range, right? Because you gotta basically COVID test the card. Now this is a number that got floated to me eons ago. Like I mean, I would say like 6 months ago, but that's one of the reasons why that only since COVID, like only things like Golden Boy and Top Rank and all boxing cards because they can write that off as a production expense. But for a Spar Star MMA, a Epic Fighting, a Knockout Fighting, a place where a lot of your teammates, places where a lot of your teammates have cut their teeth,
Hmm.
that isn't in play for you, not at this time.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, dude, I didn't know that 20 grand just for like the rudimentary fees of getting a show started. That's crazy. Just for to get around the COVID, all the COVID stuff.
And not just that. So that's 20 and plus everything else. So you still
Mhm.
got to book the venue. You still got to get your insurance. You still got to. I mean, if you're a regional pro, get your fighters there,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And the lifeblood of a lot of promotions, not the UFC and Bellator. It's ticket sales. That's
Mhm.
it. And even streams. If you've been to some of the fights here in California, and I mean Las Vegas with Tough Enough, they do it big. There's a lot of good amateur, promotions around the world, but I mean the production value, right? And that also is a cost that is accrued. So
Right.
with not money coming in, it's a weird one to be in.
Yeah, yeah. It's dude, I didn't know that. So it's basically just like the promotions that have had the money, or some rich motherfucker down in Arkansas who wants to
Hmm.
put like I know with like a couple promotions, a lot of them are in the on the east side of the country,
Yeah,
uh, or like the Midwest. They're throwing events, but it's 20 grand across the mat, like across the board, like
yeah.
for every sit or every
Amateur or pro, boxing, MMA, anything.
California or Mississippi, doesn't matter.
No, no, no. That's just here in California.
Oh, that's here in California.
Here in
Okay,
California, yeah.
I see. So that's probably why a lot of the a lot of my teammates are going out to like Iowa and Philly and Arkansas.
Mexico.
Mexico, yeah, dude.
Hmm.
I actually just I put my info into this little talent acquisition thing on. I think it was RUF. I think it was one of Arizona's
Yeah.
RUF or something like that. They're having an event April 24th. I just want to fight. I'm doing the US Muay Thai Open. That one's in
Ah.
Arizona on the 30th. I'm doing that one. Yeah, man, I just want to fight. I just want to go and perform and compete. Like it's the name of the game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now, DJ Yannix over on Twitch says, "Good afternoon from the UK." Uh, According to it, thank you for joining us all the way from across the pond. I have a question for Mark, but first, can I just say, being British here, there is nothing I love more than a cup of coffee or tea. A cup of tea, right? And in the Commonwealth. Until I saw your gray hoodie, you look twice as good as you did yesterday. Thank you, good sir. You're tremendous. My question to Mark. Oh, and that hoodie, that might be a vintage grappler hoodie, a brand that I am are working on. So you might see vintage grappler hoodies in your side of the pond and everywhere. But to your question, my question to Mark is: do you think that given the recent fightings in relation to Hawking radiation, MMA and UFC will have to adapt and perhaps even adopt some of the displays, perhaps shown in the WWE?
I have absolutely no idea what that question means. I don't know what Hawking radiation is, and
Oh, I'm going to put it in the Google machine, sir. So
yes,
yeah, I mean, DJ Yannick is definitely dropping some knowledge on us, right?
yeah, dropping
So
some knowledge bombs.
yeah, so Hawking radiation is black body radiation that is predicted to be released by black holes due to the quantum effects near the black hole event horizon. It is named after physicist Stephen Hawking, who provided a theoretical argument of its existence in 1974. So,
So the WWE is showing displays in relation to the Hawking radiation.
you know what? I mean, I wouldn't put it past it. And I'm you know, I'm a WWE guy as well. But I want to say if anybody in the WWE is doing it, I'm going to leave it to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is probably the guy that I'm going to, you know, going to factor in on that. Which and DJ Yannick says yes, it's been proven true. So I mean, Stephen Hawking's a great mind, you know, beyond his physical limitations. So I mean, if Hawking says it, I'm pretty much gonna put the bank on that, put the house on it.
Yeah, I trust Hawking's judgment. I
Yeah,
trust his judgment.
I agree. And your coach, my brother, I love him so much. Chewy Gutierrez says, "Let's fucking go."
Go.
Yes, and also Life says, "Are you drinking alcohol, Mark?"
No, it's just black coffee out of this French press. I could have made it a little stronger, but I didn't want to go too ham. You know, I'm still new to the French press, so I don't know how much coffee to use. But no, I would not be drinking alcohol at 8:30 a.m. Some people do. Different strokes for different folks. Just not me.
Yeah, you know, DJ Yannick says that it's afternoon over there in the UK. So again, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. And I mean, for those who are struggling with a particular addiction or whatever, don't drink responsibly or don't drink at all. You
Speaking of
know,
which, speaking of addiction, we can get into this later if you want.
yeah.
But I used to be on drugs,
Let's get
meth,
it into it.
meth and heroin. I was a
Wow.
junkie. I was a full blown junkie. And you know they say like you replace one addiction for another, one obsession with another. Like my obsession was getting high, and now I feel like the type of person I am. I always have to be obsessed with something, whether it's in the past it's been clout, like recognition, and then moving into drugs and being cool. And then then I just got hooked, and then a girlfriend, and then I'm obsessed with the girlfriend, and I run my life into the ground. And in the past, like everything I've been obsessed with has been unhealthy.
Wow.
I was never able to channel it. I was never able to find a balance. But I think with fighting, it's almost like the upset. Like there's no like I like this is the one obsession I can have. Like I can have my cake and eat it too, or like I don't know what
Yeah.
the phrase is, but um, you know what I mean. Like I could. This is like an obsession I can do forever. Like I don't have to stop. And like, but yeah, if anyone's struggling with drugs, alcohol, that type of stuff, dude, like there's a better way to live. There really is. Like just find it in yourself, find the discipline. Like I can go off about discipline. Yeah, man, it's just, it's hard though. When you're in it,
Yeah.
when you're struggling, it's hard. You don't see a way out. You don't see a way out. It's hard.
I mean, again, you're struggling. Even the confidence to share that just shows, the quality of human being that you are. That to really own your existence, and I mean, it's some of those things and tapping into those things that are essentially, going to lead you to where your goals may lie, whether
Mm.
that just be in MMA or life in general. So, I mean, that's a shout out to you, good sir, man. This is why, especially why, like I wanted to have you here. And DJ Yannick says yes. Stephen Hawking died last year. Condolences to the Hawking family. And Mark, you don't need caffeine. You're hype enough. Goes out to Adam, dude. Adam is, I mean, the other Adam, and it's funny because like he kind of transitioned into the Gym Crashers. Shout out to the Gym Crashers and Free Admission Media. As I was transitioning, well, not. I'm still very much a Gym Crasher, but it's one of those where I'm in LA
Yeah.
going out to Orange County. That can be a 45-minute whatever, and the county lines were pretty much drawn, so I
Yeah.
couldn't go out that way. But I miss those guys. But to it, I would even say that Adam might be the better Adam. I'm a better Woods, but That's the better Adam. So there you go. So, so
Adam's cool, dude. Adam's
Adam is and a fight encyclopedia. You definitely want to check out all of his social medias because he
yes.
knows where it is. But if you want to hear him speak his knowledge, the best place to do it is every Tuesday night on the Gym Crashers. So I'll subscribe to the Free Admission Media channel to get all your Gym Crasher stuff. So and DJ Yannick says it's 15:44 over in Britain. So yeah, in the afternoon, deep into the afternoon.
Nice. What's up, DJ? He says he has another question for me.
Yes, absolutely. So speaking of having your cake and eating it, being British, I love cake, especially with a cup of tea. My question is, what is your favorite cake? Oh, I love this question. Shout out to DJ Yannick's.
Well, my favorite cake, honestly, either chocolate or cheesecake.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm not a big cake person though. Like the type of person I am, like I'll have 2 bites of cake and then I'm done. I'm over it. It's like I'll have 2 bites. It looks so good, and I have 2 bites, and I'm like, dude, this is overwhelmingly delicious. And then I'll just be like, I'm done. I don't know. I'm weird. I'm super weird. I'm a weirdo. Like,
no,
in a good way.
That makes you beautiful. I mean,
yes.
I can't believe at this time of the day I am quoting. What is it? It's what is it? Not One Republic. It's they're a boy band that used to be Harry Styles coming out of the UK. But they had the song "That's What Makes You Beautiful." So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to quote British boy bands of the late 2000s, and I'm going to say, Mark, that's what makes you beautiful.
I agree. I think my weirdness, like, I know I'm an oddball. I'm not like like the way my mind works. I don't think is like because some dude. I swear I'll talk sometimes and I will just get blank stares, and I'm like, okay, you guys don't get it. Do I feel crazy? But like the thing is, like, you gotta just embrace your weird. Like we're all fucking weird ass humans. Like we're all like just some weirdos. Like stop trying to be normal. Stop trying to fit in. Like that's unless you want to be. The way I see it is there's like the people that want to just fit in, and there's like the people that can't accept that. They can't accept being normal. They can't accept being average. And something in them, like mentally, something in them just says go. Like in my head, like mentally, it's like, Mark, like 2 years ago, I find myself like in these situations on drugs and all this and that. And I'm like, something in my head says, Mark, this is not you. This is not who you are. You are destined for something greater than this. And I felt that way my whole life. And now fighting is, I've like channeled that into fighting. And like, the way I see it is like my life, like the thing that makes me the happiest is like helping people and making others like happy and making others laugh and being a beacon of light in someone's darkness. And like, but to do that, like I have to be the best version of myself. And sometimes that requires being harsh and disciplined and strict, and the truth hurts and the truth burns, but I just speak my truth. I don't give a fuck if people's feelings are hurt, and I don't give a fuck if people are offended. Like I speak my truth. And the truth is harsh, man. We live in a harsh world. Like, you know, nature doesn't give a fuck. Like the universe is very unbiased. There's no morality in the universe. And I think to really understand life, I have to understand myself, how frail and fragile that life is, like and how improbable life is. Like the probability of us as humans existing, like every chemical reaction that happened had to happen perfectly for us to get to this point. And like, I can go on forever. I'm getting a little existential, but like,
no, I love it. Fucking, in the words of the great Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple and later Black Country Communion, you gotta let your freak flag fly. Which you don't want to say 3 times fast this early in the morning, but but you gotta let your freak flag fly, and that's it.
Yeah, man. It's like, you know, like I think to understand life, like for me at least, I had to come to terms with death in a way. Like I had to realize that everyone dies. I die. My parents are gonna die. My brother's gonna die. My friends are gonna die. Everyone's gonna die. Like, when you realize that how precious and fragile life is, like at least for me, like it makes me appreciate it more. And then I'm like, yeah, I am committed to this MMA thing. I am, because I've made my decision. Like, I know, I see the future. I see my future. Like, and it sounds crazy, but like I know where I'm gonna end up. Like I see it, and you know, there's variables that happen along the way. Always, that's life. Life is unpredictable. Life doesn't give a fuck about how I feel.
No.
But you know, the probability increases the more I have this vision in mind.
Yeah.
And with time, that the longer that time goes on, like, so the vision expands more and more, and it gets broader. Yeah, man, it's a trip, man. Like, you know, like, just everything work. Like, the universe is so, like, I manifest like me becoming this person, this fighter, and I believe it, and I am, and I go get that knockout, and like, here I am on your podcast. Like, I never thought I'd be a person who would be. I've always been a loser my whole life. Like, my whole prior, like, I've always been average. I've always been okay being like, not even okay. I was always ended up average, wondering how the fuck I got there, wanting to be better, but not knowing a way out. And fighting gave me a way out. So, like, kids, fucking kids, parents, get your kids into sports. Get, you know, sports, like, save. They do. They really do. Sports save. Wrestling saves. Like, soccer saves. Like, it gets kids out of the hood. It gets kids out of poverty. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
But yeah.
No, I fuck, man, I love it. I love it. You're speaking the gospel, good sir. Thank you. Coming in with the heat. DJ Yannick says that's One Direction. That's what makes you beautiful. Yes, that's exactly it. Shout out to you. Thank you. And then in terms of the same question, what's my favorite cake? I too am a cheesecake guy. I like the variations, like straight cheesecake, New York cheesecake, amazing, right? But then when we get into like the variation and they kind of like, I actually do like pineapples on the pizza. I don't care. Like, you just mix it. They're all going to, that's fine. That's fine. You can say that. You know what? I've always sounded like this. Imagine sounding like this growing up in Inglewood and then wearing Ozzy Osbourne t-shirts and whatever, when everybody was like, you know, thugging and bugging. Oh my god, I just aged myself. My goodness. But yeah, so it's that. So I've always kind of been weird and whatever. So it's more. So I like, and I believe DJ Annex would appreciate this, but I am a fan of custard, right? And that's the variation, right? The egg cream versus a milk cream, right? So my mom is from the Commonwealth, used to be Commonwealth of Fiji, the Fiji Islands. So I grew up with custard, you know. So I like a good custard. It's good. It's so good. But key lime pie, the meringue. I like the tarty, the sweet and sour stuff. Just saying. Yeah, and Straight Venom says exactly. And the drive to Orange County is just crazy, especially on Friday nights. I look forward to seeing this interview, says Nate Wren of Podium Sports. Shout out to him. And he wants to know, what is your fight nickname?
You know, I don't have one. It's funny. I was kicking it with some homies last night, and we were talking about that. And I was like, dude, I don't know. And they were like, bro, you should call yourself the buy one, get one. Or that you should call yourself the discount, because he got more than he bargained for with the jab in the right hand. I don't know. And I
love that.
With me, like, I'm not going to choose my nickname. Like, I feel like it's going to come like that. Yeah. That's the person I am, is very go with the flow. And I let things kind of come to me in a way. Like especially with things like fight nicknames and like, yeah, I'll let it come to me. This is my first fight. We'll see. I'm sure it'll happen, and then one day I'll, maybe change my Instagram handle or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm saying maybe we should have talked that off air, because there's probably some like hacker fucker that's like, that sounds great. Buy one get one MMA and discount MMA and wrap that sumbitch up.
Logo MMA.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. I mean, as long as you don't go with Taz Mexican Devil, good. Because, holy shit, your name is Ray Borg. No disrespect to Ray Borg. Incredible person. His story is amazing. The stuff that he's doing with his kid, his son that was born with, tremendous disability, but ability, right? Incredible person. But again, your last name is Borg. You had a layup. It's like fucking mana from heaven or whatever deity that you want to subscribe to, right?
Yeah,
That's a layup. That's a win. Like,
right,
that's like fucking Prince Harry. He just got born into that shit until he left, right? Like,
right,
you don't tempt fate, right? And to me, Cyborg. That's it.
right.
Like whatever. Taz Mexican Devil. That is the Alan Belcher bad Johnny Cash tattoo of bad MMA nicknames. Alan Belcher in the UFC. He had that Johnny Cash that looked like prune face from Dick Tracy. Well, the Taz Mexican Devil is the fighter nickname equivalent to that. So
Yeah.
there you go. Just saying. Yeah. And cake too sweet for you, Mark.
No, DJ Annex, it's not too sweet for me.
Well, but I believe he wanted me to too sweet him, so I will too sweet the comment right there. Too sweet, DJ Yanix. And Adam says, thank you for the love. Shout out to Mr. Woods. I'll keep rapping the name well. You rap it well. You don't need me to say it. You're the man. Shout out to you, good sir. I love what you're doing. Absolutely love it. Now, and DJ Yannick says, speaking of One Direction, I'd recommend the song Little Things. In fact, according to Woods, play it in the background, please. I don't want to get the YouTube.
DJ Yannick, we're not going to do that. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing about it is, like, I also, these things have copyright rights, and they will flag your page like a motherfucker. So that's also why. So, but I will definitely listen to it when we're off here. I promise. And I really enjoying how this guy is telling the truth. How being average is no way to live.
Yeah, no, it's really not. I mean, to each their own. That's the thing. Is like, who the fuck am I to judge if someone just wants to like settle and like have a comfortable life and just be comfortable and like. Even like a lot of people have already achieved what they want to do, like they're where they want to be, like that's fine. If they're happy, like who cares? Like I want to just lead by example, like. But yeah, for me, being average is no way to live, dude. I'm not comfortable there. I can't just settle with like, and especially the way my mind works, I can't get a 9 to 5. Like I'm not a 9 to 5. I can't sit in front of the screen. Like I need stimulation. I'm go, like. And that doesn't tire me. Like, I don't get tired. Like, I just keep going, like, because it's fun. Like, life is meant to be fun for me. Like, being average is not fun. Like, worrying about bills is not fun. Worrying about, like my parents my parents are immigrants. So, I'm Iranian. I'm Persian.
Wow.
And so my parents came here. They went to France. They like escaped the revolution in Iran, went to France. They got their master's degree in France, and then came here, learned a new language. So they speak 3 languages. Worked up in their software engineers, both of them, and they worked their way up in big companies. Like they worked at IBM. And what I'm saying is like my parents grinded to get here. My parents sacrificed like everything, and laid down everything to give us, me and my brother, like an opportunity. And like, bro, I'm taking this opportunity all the way. So then I can provide for my kids and my, when I do have kids, like I can provide for them and my family, and I can give back to my parents and set them up. And, sorry, DJ Yannick is going off in the comments.
No worries. Let's see. He says I'm chatting nonsense about the pie. I'm in the cake. Sorry, good sir. You have no clue about cakes. No, absolutely. I will attest that. And I also like
really offended at the cake.
Like birthday cake, right? Which is like regular cake, the yellow cake with like sprinkles and shit, like super sugary. And whatever. So yeah,
I think we struck a chord with DJ Annex. He's very passionate about his cakes.
Yes, absolutely, and you should be passionate about something. And you have a lovely smile, not in a LGBTQ way, but I definitely would. Well, kudos to you, sir. And here you go. And he's give a wink to the camera. Absolutely, you're gonna get a wink. You get a wink and a click. And don't bring Harry into this. Hey, guess what? Oprah already did. So just saying. No. Whoever is doing the thing, shout out to you for doing the thing, right? And yeah, yeah, okay. So perhaps a little pout. There we go. I can do the Zoolander, and whoa, okay.
If
Well,
I like my
that's
coffee, like I like my men.
yeah. I mean,
And then he, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it's just fun all over here. I'm just saying. So shout out to you, DJ Yanix. Shout
Yeah.
out. Yeah. So anyway, we all want to make a good quid. Not all of us have OnlyFans accounts, but there are some fighters that do. So
Hey, DJ Yanix, I'll probably make a Only Hands account. I'll be, go. You can go to my
OnlyFans.
Instagram. My Instagram's kind of an Only Hands account. You can see my first knockout there, and there will be many more much more dope shit to come.
Yes.
But yeah, what were we were? Sorry, I didn't
No,
mean.
we were. But we were talking about your parents being immigrants, and that being so much of your identity, and seeing what they've done in their individual lives and collectively to give the life for you and your brother to have a better one. They basically did it, and how you basically want to, make your comeuppance in the world, not just for you, but also for your parents to be able to take care of them on the very thing that you love, especially after you might have caused them some strife, growing up and everything like that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah. And
giving
that's the
back.
thing. That's the thing is I never like it never clicked for me how hard they worked, and how much they put into I don't know. It never clicked for me like what the grind, like what I'm like. We talk about the grind and the hustle and this and that. Like, there's a reason all these successful people talk about it. They talk about hustle. They talk about dedication. They talk about discipline. They talk about not giving up. Like, I didn't realize these things. These things didn't click for me. My dad like worked himself into the ground. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's my duty, like, to not just for myself, but for everyone else, like, to be the best that I can be in whatever I do. So I can be a human who's reliable, who's dependable, who looks after his family, who takes care of his kids, who's a good person, who just treats human beings with the respect they deserve, and calling the truth where I see it, and just being a whole person. Like, life is dope. Like, the way I see it, life is so dope. We're so blessed to like just exist, simply
Yeah,
exist, and like live in houses, and we have a roof over our head, and a lot of people don't. And
yeah,
I mean, animals every day, like other animals, dude, they're like every day is life or death for them. They're not like this for me. Like, I feel this. I am not. Nothing separates. I am just like an animal. I'm not like, we think we're human and we're different and we're special because we communicate and we have written records of things, and
yeah,
like, bro, we're still animals. Like, we're still like this. For me, this is life or death. Like,
yeah,
people can believe they're not and they're different, but like, for me, life is short, and the longer I live, the shorter it gets.
yeah,
And like, the more I realize how like time is my currency,
yeah.
because
Absolutely.
it's the only thing in life that's limited. Really, is time. Time. That's all we have.
That is, and that's even like you're almost speaking to me, yeah, but you're speaking to a lot of people because like that's it. A lot of people like I'd been mulling around this very podcast for like eons, and doing it, but most people they will tell you that hey, time and money, right? And over the last year, you got a little bit of one and a lot of bit of both, right? So it's up to you to make it happen. So
Mhm.
rather than, well, I'm kind of sitting on my butt. This is a comfortable chair,
But
but
you're not.
I'm doing the
You're
thing
up.
and capturing
You know,
stories.
you're up here at 8:30 a.m. on a Monday morning, getting after it, getting
Yeah,
after it, like, because you have a mission. You have a
yeah,
mission. I think everyone needs a mission. Like,
hmm
everyone needs a mission, and keeping that mission in mind. Like, every day, like, it's automatic for me now. Like, I don't have to wake up and think, oh, do the mission. Like, it's just on my mind when I wake up. Like, fighting's the first thing, that's on my mind. How can I get better as a human is the first thing that's on my mind, and it's the last thing that's on my mind when I go to bed. Like, how can I be a better human and improve myself, and how can I trim all the fat in my life, like cut all the bullshit I don't need.
Yeah.
Like I said, time is currency. Like, the people you spend time with, that's like you're putting money in the bank for your mindset, for how you, like, every time I kick it with a friend that's positive and uplifting, and we focus on each other's strengths and we don't tear each other down, like, that's putting money in the bank. Like, mentally, I'm getting better every day, like, because of the people, the team that I hang around with. Shout out to my coach, Adam, Lynn. Man, like, something, because I feel like, at least before, like, me and my coach are very different. We're very different people, like, naturally, like, or at least, like, from what he was always so disciplined. Like, when I think of my coach, I think discipline. Like, he's so disciplined. He's there every day. He's always, like, nothing phases him. It seems like nothing can break him or penetrate his aura. Like, his aura is just strong. And, like, I never had that. I'm a very empathetic person, and I tend to appeal and look after the emotions of others, a lot of times to my own expense. At my own expense, like, I will cater to the emotions of others, and I will put them first and me second. That's how naturally I am. Like, I'm agreeable. Like, these traits, I have to realize these things about myself so I can change it, because if I'm catering to the emotions of everyone else for the rest of my life, I'll never get to where I want to be, because my needs will not be met. Like, I have to meet my own needs first. Always. I always have to meet my own needs first, other person second. And this applies to life. This applies to relationships. Like, like, healthy relationships. Like, I'm single. I don't have a girlfriend. I don't care to have a girlfriend. I don't care to get laid. I'm different than a lot of guys. Like, I really don't give a fuck. Like, put me put me anywhere. Like, I think it's, like, for me, it's I feel it's not part of my mission right now.
Right.
Like, getting laid or even, like, any of that. Like, it's not part of my mission. So I don't have to worry about these things. I don't have to worry about how I look. I don't care about how I look. Like, I don't, obviously I'm a human and these things still pop up. And when they do, like, I try to remind myself, like, who I am, where I want to be, that the mission's first, and don't get distracted with these, because this is our, and dude, I can get so deep with it. Like, this goes like into, like, how my mind functions. Like, me, it's instant gratification, delayed gratification. And, like, a lot of people live with the instant gratification in mind. Like, they want to make it through the week and get to that weekend so they can go out to the club and maybe find a potential mate and get that dopamine rush and oxytocin they get from having sex or whatever, or doing drugs or drinking. And I get it. These are human activities. I get it. And they feel good and they're dope. But, like, man, so I work at a little Orange Theory gym. Like, I work weekends, and I work during the week. Like, my work is training. Like, that's my work, is training. And I work every day, 2-3 times a day, like 2-3 hour sessions. Like, I'm putting in all the work, and I don't care about going out. I go to bed at 8-9 p.m. Like, I don't care about anything else. Like, I care about me, and that's what I'm doing.
No, and I absolutely love it, because everybody has a different path in life. I think you touched on it, and especially here in America, there's that ideology of keeping up with the Joneses. If I get this, then if somebody else gets this, and I gotta get the same and whatever, or better and whatever. And it's just like, everybody's got a path in life. Like, I didn't find, like, of course I was always like a pro wrestling MMA fan, but I didn't even start training jiu-jitsu until long after my parents had passed away, because I thought they would kind of, like, I don't, not to say, like, look down, but they were always very protective. I was the only boy, so they were very protective. And then my role was to take care of my little sister, who was female. And, at a time where, if they had left the world, which they ended up doing, that I would be equipped to not only take care of my family, but also hers. And, basically doing it. It was always kind of like a paradox because, defending your family, you means you're fit, it means you can handle yourself and whatever. But like they almost like didn't subscribe to that belief, right? So, but everybody has a different path, and
Right.
my
But
mom would be so proud like that I'm doing this,
yeah,
because her father in Fiji was the very first broadcaster. My
really.
yeah, for the very first broadcaster, non BBC in Fiji,
Oh,
was Wame Wangani Sanini Senior, who is my mom's father, my maternal grandfather. So,
so
you
there's
know,
some legacy here. There's some legacy
yeah,
that you're carrying on here.
yeah, but we all do, just like you and your family and that, and you went a different way. Like my dad was, my mom was heavily involved in politics and royal stuff, and growing up in the Commonwealth, she knew we all cried when Princess Diana passed away. Like that was like super deep, like not just like a casual. Like she knew everything. She even when her brother died, actually quoted like some of the stuff from Princess Diana's eulogy at the funeral of her brother, right? So like it ran very deep, right? And then my
Right.
dad was a musician, son, the grandson of slaves, but ended up coming from the Midwest to here and making it as a musician where a lot of people weren't, you know.
Wow.
But I went a completely different way than even they. But I use kind of their parameters in terms of like expanding capacity and really testing yourself.
Yes.
That's what I got from my parents, and not to be fearful of boundaries.
Yeah. See, because I've always been the type that's very fearful of boundaries. Like,
Hmm.
um, I mean, socially, like, just always wanting to stay in line, be in
Yeah.
line. I always feel kind of out of line. Even right now, like sometimes, like this knockout, I was like, dude, I can't let this go to my head. Like, I can't. And I think it's a good. I think it's a great trait. I think it's naturally like if I can harness these things about myself, like my fear of boundaries, like say like I got a knockout, everyone's gassing me up, I should be proud of myself, but my natural instinct is to be like, don't think anything of it, like good, I'm gonna keep my head down, keep training, keep doing what I'm doing, and just like I think like you're talking about like these natural instincts we have and these
Right.
natural tendencies to dispositions to certain personality types that we have, if we understand ourselves, we can harness them and become the best versions of ourselves. But it starts with like understanding how the brain works, how the body works,
Hmm.
psychology, evolution, like how,
Yeah.
evolutionary psychology, like all these things are important factors. And that's why I think life is so beautiful because the experience and the knowledge that I have is only possible having lived the exact life that I've lived. No one else has lived my life. I have not lived anyone else's life.
Hmm.
So for me to judge or put shame or like I can, unless I've experienced what they're experiencing, which is kind of impossible because how can you live someone else's life? Like you can try to empathize, but like unless I've experienced what they've experienced, like I am not one to speak. I can only speak from my experience, and I can only hope that someone gets something that they relate to out of it and betters their life from it. And I tried to do that on Instagram a little while ago, like
Yeah.
before. And I realized like I want to let my performances do the talking for me.
Yeah.
Um, a little bit at first when I gain some momentum, then maybe I'll look at like I don't know, man, because I feel like at first your fans are like the people around you, like your
Yeah.
friends. And, that's how it is at first, and like I don't want to alienate these people by being motivation mark on Instagram like every
Yeah.
day. You know what I mean? Like I could be, but I just post whenever I please and
Yeah.
um, go into these. Sorry, I'm just looking at some of these.
Oh yeah. So Nate Rand says you should watch the American Wrestler. The Wizard is an inspirational tale about a teenager who escaped the Iranian Revolution and became a great state champion wrestler in California. It's based on a true story. Oh, definitely watching that. And I'm also gonna put like the Iron Sheik's documentary where she can fight free on Netflix, but he was like a bodyguard to the Shah of Iran, and escaped, and it ended up being like a lot of people know him from his Howard Stern stuff and all, whatever, but like that dude is an inspiration too. And he came up at a time in pro wrestling where he was like older than a lot of like the Ric Flairs and everything that were training, but I mean, he was the coach. He was probably one of the most legit people, but he had to be a bad guy because the first part of his career, he was a good guy, but nobody bought tickets, bought the idea of an Iranian or a brown good guy.
You know what? It's funny. That is deep. Like, there's two things that like from this, like I'm taking like, one is like, it goes back to like how I was talking about the people who aren't okay with their situation. And I was reading this article last night about belief change, and the things that it takes. Like a genuine belief change is very rare. But I think to move mountains in your life, like you need a belief change, or if what you're doing isn't taking you to where you want to be, like something has to change, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And this isn't like this person who escaped the Iranian Revolution is just another person who wasn't okay with his circumstance. And it was like, I need to change this. I forgot the second thing I was gonna say. Like, yeah, I have like my head is scattered. I'm scatterbrained.
No, but that's it. There's so many. It's just like people that have a stutter. I stuttered for a long time, and I'm not comparing myself into that, but there's so many equations and complex thoughts that happen that the mouth can't move fast enough to expand it, and then also to find a waiting audience to receive such things, there might not be. Complex theories, Hawking theories. There's a lot of it. And people will ostracize what they don't understand and can leave you feeling worse about yourself.
Yes, thank you. That's what I was gonna say. Is yes, because I think I talked about at the beginning where I was saying like sometimes I'll talk and I'll get just these blank stares, and I'll be like, wow, well, I just feel like a weirdo now. And then when I reflect on it, it's like, no, they just didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
And like, maybe on like for me, it's like, well, that gives me an opportunity to work on being able to articulate my thoughts in a well textured way that people can receive and understand. Like that's important too, is being able to share your experience, because that's how you're going to help people. Like articulation is very important. The way you speak is very important. And now we're getting into like manifesting, because
yes, bring it. Because I mean, Ivy Valdez says Mark's life perspective. The best part is that he shares the light with other people, says Ivy. Shout out to you, Ivy. Thank you for the good stuff. But yeah, let's get into it, bro.
Yeah, it's like I don't know when I realized this, but like this is my biggest trade secret, if you will, right now. And I attribute this to my performance this last weekend. My coach, I think my coach Adam brought this about in me. Like he's the one who sparked this in me. But he started talking about like mental training at the beginning of the year. Like he wanted a big shift in the gym. Like it was apparent. Like he started having team meetings. We started doing this Subfighter 21-day challenge. All these things are there isn't enough credit given to the mental aspect of training. Like visualization, manifesting, talking about it. I cannot be the person I want to be if I don't believe that I am. Plain and simple. I can train for 10 years, 20 years, have great technical skills, but if I don't believe I'm the best in the world, if I don't believe I can take anyone that they put in front of me, I won't. Simply, that's it. Like, it's so simple, but people want to complicate it so much. Like, it's so simple. You just act as if, and you mold yourself into this person that you want to be. But like, I don't know what it takes, honestly. Like, I don't know what the formula is for bringing about this change. Like, you just got to adopt Like you just got to be like, I am this person. I
Yeah.
am the best. I am a savage. I'm a beast. I don't get tired. Whatever you want to believe about yourself, I make money. That's why I probably hear like rappers when they rap, they talk about how much money they make. It's like they're manifesting. They're talking about it because even if they're not there, they're molding themselves into this person. And when you mold yourself into this person, it seems like the universe almost wants to reciprocate. It seems like when you put stuff out into the universe puts it right back in front of you. Like it just seems to work that way. And it's so much simpler than like, I just wish like, because I'll see people like just stuck in these parts of their lives. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro, you're doing this to yourself. Like it's so just mentally, it's just a switch. You just turn it on. I don't know. And I'm kind of been thinking lately, like maybe some people have it and some people don't, but I believe anyone can do it. I believe anyone is capable of anything.
No, I absolutely agree. And it's funny because, somewhat call it like generational curses, but then I don't know if you've ever had it, but like you've met somebody new, but they remind you almost to a T, whether it be facial mannerisms, their physical mannerisms, or just their state of mind, that will remind you of somebody that you had before, right? So I want to believe that there's kind of like some archetypal, spiritual kind of not constructs, but like templates, right? Where you know,
Yes.
and you can pretty much like as like as expounding as life is and everything, but I mean, within about eight people or archetypes, you can get pretty much everybody in the world, and they kind of fall at least 70%
It's,
in one of those eight
it's
archetypes.
so true. There really
Yeah.
are archetypes. Like that's so
Hmm.
true.
Yeah. Yes. And I
Whether
mean,
we whether
go
we
for
want
it.
to or not, like we fall into these like I guess categories and we put ourselves there or other people put us there and we choose to stay there or we choose to change it. But like there really are like yes, it's so true.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, like especially in this time, right? The COVID and everything, and it's hit everybody like crazy, right? And people have lost jobs, lost lives, lost, the closeness of physical closeness of family members and what have you have had relationships, fall, and some have even strengthened relationships. But
Right.
everybody, like a lot of the like we, of course, you can get stir crazy. One, that's kind of our human right?
Right.
But also there are people that are wanting to, like, let's open up so we can go back to the thing that we don't own and everything, versus taking the time to maybe explore entrepreneurship, be able
Right.
to invest in the stock market. Like
Yes.
it's crazy. So it's
That,
not like,
that's how I see it is like, yeah, like the people that this COVID has really exposed a lot
mhm,
of truth, a lot of, um, and really changed, like really forced change about on a lot of people. Like for me, like, dude, I've become from the beginning of at the beginning of this pandemic, March of
last year.
2020,
Yeah.
um, I was still on heroin. Like I was on heroin. I was on drugs.
Wow.
I went to detox in May 31st of 2020 is the last day I smoked some dope at 10 a.m. that morning, checked into detox, and shout out to Trace Vista's Recovery. That's where I went in San Juan Capistrano. But like I haven't looked back since that day, and something about this pandemic just made me like discontent because I'm the type of person who's already discontent sitting around. So you put me in quarantine and I'm either gonna lose my mind or I'm gonna figure some shit out.
Yeah.
And you back people into a corner, they're either gonna wither or they're gonna figure some shit out. And like what
Yeah.
I've done is I've figured some shit out.
But that's it, and gosh, I love that you said that. I love the person that you are, just because, a lot of people I feel need it, and it's just like it could come, in a multitude of different ways. People that tuned in for a fight podcast didn't know that there was going to be some truth spoken and everything. And it's funny because, like, the outside world, I like to call it the pop culture lexicon, right? Well, even after all of the big stars, the Tito Ortiz, the Randy Coutures, the Ronda Rouseys, and everything, big prize fights. Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury just got inked this morning. I got sent a link, right? But even still, that art, like that augmented archetype of like fighters just being brawlers. And I'm like, no, it's like some of the most complex equations. If you want to talk to an engineer that shoots stuff into the moon or whatever, they're removed, right? They're not the one that's going up in the ship and what have you, right?
Right.
Well, this complex equation of fighting, not only is it being, expounded by you, your team, your coaches, your skill set, what you have before, what you brought before you come into the gym, mindset and physical traits, and then what you are basically building on. Those are all complex equations. But
Right.
again, with that, like disastrous results. I mean, if you win, it's the downfall of somebody else, right?
Mhm.
If you lose your mindset, lose your focus, lose whatever, it's the downfall of yourself, right? So,
Right. It's
you
like
know,
I heard Joe Rogan describe it as high level problem solving with
yes,
dire physical consequences.
hmm
That's
Rogan's the best. Rogan's
and
the best.
me like that's what I love about fighting. It's just turned me into this person. It's not just in the gym, like it's out of the gym. Like I'm a problem solver now. I don't sit in the problem. I'm not a victim anymore. Like things don't happen to me. They happen for me. They materialize, but I have to step and meet them 50-50. Like I have a reciprocal relationship with the universe. I have a give and take relationship. Like
No.
I give and then the universe gives. Like it's flow. And then once you realize, like, when you go with the flow and you just have you just keep doing what you do unconstricted by the thought of what others think about you, or when you just go with the flow and respect and love yourself first, dude, you're capable of anything. When when you put your boundaries first, when you're like, no, I'm not going to go out tonight. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed and get some sleep and heal my brain. And that's another big thing that I'm big on is the brain health.
Yeah.
I microdose. I take lion's mane.
Yeah. Good job.
Mental health, like my brain firing on all cylinders is very, very, very important to me. And it's paid dividends in my life. And yeah, man, it's just a lot I'm so grateful for. Like, it's just there's a lot more to be grateful for in life than we give life credit for. Everyone always wants to complain about everything. Like, I remember the last time I complained, and usually if I have complained, it's just because I'm empathizing with someone else's complaints and I'm agreeing with them in the moment. But really, in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, there are no complaints. There's people that, like, you're cold right now. Really? You're fucking cold? Like, you're hungry? Like, no. Like, I don't know.
No, I love it. I mean, I love it, which and it's funny, because like, yeah, knowledge comes from all shapes and forms, and to which Nate Rand wants to know, like, how many professional fights you have. And I kind of know it. I mean, technically zero, right? I mean, what happened at an undisclosed location, may or may not even be in the state, may not even be in the country. We don't know, and that's part of the appeal.
Right. Oh yeah, we have no idea. You guys just saw that knockout. That's what you saw. And that's what you're going to continue to see from me. You're going to continue to see, like, dope highlights, dope clips, like dope performances, strong performances, a man who's determined, a man who knows what he wants, and a man who gets what he wants because he's put in the work. And I'll continue to put in the work. Like, after my fight on Saturday, I was like, right after the fight, I was like, dude, I need to shadow box more kicks. I need to get comfortable throwing more kicks. Like, I'm always examining myself. I'm always in this state of constant and it used to be self-criticism, and I used to criticize myself and be harsh with myself, and that would hold me back. And when I just flip life's all about perspective. Like, I just flip my perspective and to make it positive and be like, wait, stop labeling anything as good or bad. It just is.
Mm-hmm.
What can we do to improve and expand,
No, oh my gosh, I love this. And yeah, this is like talk about dopamine. This is an instant but also long term deal for me because like not only did I learn stuff, but like I gained a friend. Like you're somebody who like we need more Mark in our life, like whether we know it or not, you know. And again, in a year's time, right? You were basically, you know, addicted, right? And now you're addicted to another thing that is basically, you know, it can be taxing on the body, but it's nowhere near where you were. I almost like I likened it right to Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, right? When he was on Rogan's podcast, you know, a couple years back, he was talking about, you know, because Rogan asked, "How did you guys all, you know, work out your you know addictions and stuff like that?" Well, Steven Tyler got into when they were on tour. Instead of scoping out for drugs and all that, whatever, they go to McDonald's and whatever like McDonald's like Happy Meal toy. It was his addiction to scope out who has this toy, how many different locations or whatever. So it wouldn't be off if you were, you know, working at a McDonald's that Aerosmith was touring in your town to see Steven himself. Not even like he doesn't send a handler. No, no. Like Steven Tyler in all of his regalia will walk into McDonald's and want just a toy, not the food, just the
Right.
toy.
Right. Because it's something about it is fulfilling for him, and it's almost childlike. Like
Yeah.
that's the way I go about this world, and I traverse this world is if I remain childlike, like a like a kid who just walked into a classroom for the first day and doesn't know what to expect and is just there for the experience, just riding the wave and going with the flow and taking everything he can. Like it's every day is like a clean slate. Every activity is a clean slate. Every time I go into training, it's a clean slate to work on what I need to work on and improve. And every time I socialize, every time I talk to someone, every time anything, like every word that I say is me working on my language skills, my speaking skills, my social skills. Socializing even is a skill. Like you got to learn that. Like me, it's not naturally, it's not inherent. I'm very awkward and shy and naturally, but I don't believe myself to be that person anymore. I believe I am the person who I am now, and that self-belief and my self-image continues to grow with my experience. And there's this book that I was reading called With Winning in Mind. My coach suggested it to me, and it talks about like no one trains the mental, and the mental is so important in being elite in any field. Like you got to believe that you're that person, you know, self-belief and it goes even into like neuroplasticity and like when you believe, like when you so like say for example, like say I'm having a negative thought. Oh, I should have done this. I have trained myself to, as soon as I receive this input, this negative input that causes an emotional reaction, I just think the exact opposite at the same moment. The exact moment, I just switch it. I'm like, nope, that's not true. I'm actually this. I'm actually cool. I'm actually dope. Like, I actually love myself. I actually love who I am. Like, I am a savage. I am a beast. Like, every time I doubt, every time I have, like, I just switch the doubt with an affirmation kind of.
Yeah, positive affirmation.
You know?
Which, man, gosh. Obviously, you know, you didn't get here alone. Obviously, your self belief, your self, you know, worth to, like I said, self worth, what you are worth to yourself. That's a long way to get where you were just a year ago, right? But I mean, there's been a lot of people that have helped along the way, right? That have attributed along the way. So, Mark, I mean, let's get some shout outs out of the way, good sir.
Okay. Dude, shout out to my whole team. You know, Subfighter MMA, my coach, Adam Lin, my head coach. I can't thank him enough. I'll come back to him because I want to kind of go off. Like, yeah. But so Subfighter MMA, Adam Lin, my coach. Raw Talent Boxing, my coach over there, Chewy Gutierrez. classic fight team. Tyler,
yeah, shout out to Tyler Wombles.
He's been kind enough to let me into his gym and a couple times, and you know, I went to one of his technique classes the other night, and it was amazing. He's an amazing coach, and like those guys are savages. Those guys are beasts over there, and they have great training. And yeah, man, like I am nothing without my team. Like you talk about shout outs, and like, dude, I want to shout out every person in my life. Like I want to shout out like my mom, my dad. I take so much from everyone, from every interaction I have with anyone. Like there's so much to take. But I honestly, like, yeah, like my team, my coach, back to going to my coach, like he's been doing this, or he's just instilled discipline in me, which is something I've never had. My coach is just so, like Adam, he's just so composed all the time. And like the type of person I am, like a lot of times I'll emulate the things that I see in other people that I like. I take from that, and I take from everyone. So, I think me and my coach's relationship is great. He keeps me in line. He keeps me in check. I love the guys, you know, Jeff Meller, Free Love, Mike Segura, Justin Governal, my homie Jeff Craig, Moses Murrieta. There's Blake Builder. Like there's so many names that I can mention, and the list can go on and on. And like, you know, my homie Chase Whitmer. Shout out to Chase, dude. Like, this dude shows up to the gym every single day without fail. Every day. Same with my coach Adam. He's there, like unless he's on vacation or something, like he's there. No excuses. He's there. Like, and I've adopted the same principle. I show up no matter what. But yeah, man, like it's hard for me to shout out because for one, I feel like I'll miss people, and for two, like I just take so much from so many people, like even people that don't fight. Like my coworkers, I work at Orange Theory, and like I was kicking with my coworkers last night, and like for example, like you know, like one of my coworkers, Monica, like she's married, and like they have a very healthy relationship, and like from them I learn how to act in, like they have a very, like I learn how to act in a marriage. Like I learn how to, like my boss, he's very chill. He's very like easygoing, but he's assertive, but like he's very, like I learned how to run a business from him. You know what I mean? Like from you, like I'm learning right now how to do interviews, even how to conduct an interview. And I'm sure it's so much deeper, but like, if you take, the way I see it is I love taking cliff notes from everything. Take cliff notes from everything, take what I want and leave the rest and make it work in my favor. So shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone who supported me. Shout out to everyone in my life. Shout out to everyone that, you know, I've talked to. If we used to talk and we don't talk anymore, people are influential. People are so influential, and the people you spend the most time with are probably going to be the people that you emulate. And big shout out to my boy Jeff Craig. He's fighting out a classic fight team. He's one of my best friends. This dude, I don't know what it is, man. Like this dude took me under his wing, kind of like he just started hitting me up one day, and I was like, I'm like, what does he want? Like, I'm like, why me? Like, who am I for him to be hitting me up? And we talked about this, and like, and I asked him like, what was it about? And he was like, bro, I just maybe like we think similarly, and like I'm so grateful that he had the balls to seek me out as a homie, and he would hit me up and be like, yo, let's kick it, let's train. And we started lifting together, and he was in my corner at this fight, at this undisclosed location. He was cornering me, and so was Moses, and like we show up for each other, dude. Like I show up for my team, and they show up for me. Like anything they would do, I would do for them, and anything I would do for them, I know they would do for me. And like, this is how it is with my friends. This is how it is with my family. Like, you know, I am flow. I am water. Like I just reciprocate the energy given to me, and like that seems to work for me. And like, I kind of think about it like, say I'm like a vacuum cleaner, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking about this example right now, but say I'm like a vacuum cleaner and I have a straight line to go through,
Mm-hmm.
and like I know where my destination is, and I'm doing everything I can to get to that point. But along the way, the vacuum's like taking things in,
Yeah.
taking things in. Like if there's a big enough object, if I get too close to it, it can come in and potentially destroy the vacuum cleaner. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Destroy,
Mm-hmm.
like that's why like it's so important to cut the negative bullshit from your life, like the negative thought loops, the negative people, the people that say, "Oh, I don't know," or "Oh, you," even like I don't know, even I feel like there's a line of lighthearted, like even if you're lighthearted, if it's lighthearted, but like your friends are like just dissing you and roasting each other, like
Right.
it's more important than we think. Like I really
Mm-hmm.
think it is, like the way we talk to each other, the way we talk to ourselves, like it's really important. And like yeah, man, so shout out to everyone on my journey. Shout out to everyone.
Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. And just to kind of even build on your analogy of the vacuum cleaner, I was told once that a plane, right? Same everything, same pilot, same whatever, same amount of fuel, everything the same, right? Can go from point A to point B, like literally something like hundreds of thousands, if no, if not tens of thousands of
Mm,
times, and never take the same route twice. Might be
mm,
higher, might be lower, might be different, whatever. So life, much like the plane, is about course correction. Getting
mm,
to where, I mean, starting from where you start, that might be in the ravagement of the Congo. It might be, in Berlin, post, World War II. It could be everywhere, right? But it's just where you start and whatever your goal is. And it's not going to happen the way you want, If I had my way, it would be like, again, African descendant of slaves father, and women in my family even over 6 foot tall. Same thing with my mom side of the family, Polynesian. I mean, like my same genealogy, almost, when you slide in Samoa for Fiji, is in the Rock, right? You see how big that guy is, right? And theoretically speaking, like I was going to be a giant, right? I was going to be a giant. I was going to wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then I would blow out my knees and
mm.
then settle into a commentary position at somewhere, right? I was even thinking this is early 2000s WCWs. That's what I had in my mind. I would be calling stuff with Tony Schiavone, right?
Yeah.
Well, again, I filled that to all of 5'9", and I went to radio school, going from Inglewood to Huntington Beach, right on beach in Edinger, for those who know the OC. And then we had a bus strike that happened, so 10 weeks into my schooling, it's not there, and they charged me $20,000, right, for it. Now, all of these years later, without FCC regulations and everything like that, I'm doing the very thing that I thought eluded me.
Mm, mm.
Hmm.
Right, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's full circle.
It is, and that's the thing. I mean, it's even funny because like the last time that I saw your team in person was at LFA at the OC Fairgrounds in Costa Mesa. Well, I literally passed the school right behind the BJ's on beach in Edinger, and I was just like, and I'm going there to do the thing. Right, like, and again, in 2003, there wasn't a format. MMA wasn't even legal, or it wasn't even MMA at the time. That term didn't even
Wow.
exist pre 2007, right? So this is no holds barred, and and I could tell you about going to Limp Bizkit concerts at the Forum, and Tito Ortiz would be there, and Fred Durst going like, "Yo, it's a champion of the world," and it was like a fart in church. Like nobody gave a damn, right? And then to all these years later, and even like go to the Tito Chuck 3 weigh-ins, even as crazy as that whole thing was, but I got to stand with Tito Ortiz at the spot where he stood when he was getting shouted out by Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. Even
Wow.
further, well, I went to Inglewood High. The Forum, the Fabulous Forum, is right there in Inglewood. I had my high school commencement ceremony at the Forum, right? That was the only year that they did it, right? So
It
not
comes full
only,
circle.
yes, because not only was it where Tito stood, at that Limp Bizkit concert, but it's also literally, I think, 3 feet away from where I basically got my high school diploma.
Right, and you did the thing. That's crazy. So you passed by and you're like, wow, like all these years ago, like I thought I was gonna be here, and here I am doing this
Hmm.
thing, and it's that belief that probably propelled you. I don't want to speak for you, but that
Yeah.
belief that propelled you into like what you want to do, and here you are now. Here you are. You started this According to Woods podcast. What?
Less than a year ago?
Less than a year ago. Already at not to put like social like vanity metrics on Instagram or anything into the
Right.
equation of success, but like already at 3K followers, already scheduling all these interviews, getting all these fighters on your show, making it happen. And in the act of you making it happen, the momentum only builds. Like you get a snowball going down a hill, like that snowball is only going to speed up and pick up more on the way down. And like momentum is so important. And like I think, like you said, like the plane analogy, like your route, that's your momentum. And like once you get it, it's almost the easy way. Like once you gain momentum
Hmm.
and you understand your way of living, not doing what you're doing is way harder than continuing to be on that path. Like if dude, I can't like the thought of taking a week off of training or going on vacation, like even Big Sean, like it's funny, Big Sean in his song, he's like, fuck a vacay, I feel better at work.
Yeah.
Blessed. Like, dude, that's really how I feel. Like I like Monday's my favorite day. Like I love Mondays. Mondays are my favorite day. Everyone looks towards the weekend. Like, no, I like when it's time to go to work, when it's time to because it's fun. It's just fun and it's like, yeah, man, it's amazing. Like especially people on the path that we're on, like
Yeah.
you're going for media, I'm going for performing, like high goals. We have high goals, and like I believe to achieve high goals there's a mindset that needs to be had, and without that mindset these goals will not be achievable if you don't, because you don't believe, people don't believe they can. And um there's so like self-fulfilling prophecy is just so like it's, and it's like it goes back to like like mental wiring, like you're
Yeah.
rewiring your brain to act this way, and it builds confidence. And it's just, I don't know, man, life is good, we're blessed, we're just
Life
blessed.
is good. We're blessed, which I'm almost like tearing up because Nate Wren saying, I like to think of Adam Woods as the sports podcast version of Fraser Crane, which again, my mom would be so proud because when I was little, right, when I wasn't watching pro wrestling, and even when I wanted to wrestle, my mom was like, yeah, but the guys in the coats with the emblem and talking into the mic, they're going to have a way further career. And especially as wrestlers, and we're seeing it even in the UFC where a lot of the fighters are becoming the commentators, right? So if you're just a straight commentator, you're even like on the chopping block there. Look at Jimmy Smith of Bellator. Joe Rogan said, like, the greatest analyst in in combat sports today, and he got basically the axe in favor of a DC, a Dominic Cruz, people that have won championships. So it's
Right.
even like it's even shorter, But like my mom would have us everything that was radio or TV growing up. Like WKRP in Cincinnati, we're talking Murphy Brown, we're talking news radio with Joe Rogan, a young, full head of hair Joe Rogan, right? Like that's it. And of course Frasier. I have watched every single Frasier episode ever. Anything that had to do with news and media and broadcast, and it's gotten a weird connotation in the last couple of years. There's biases and everything like that. That's why I always say, hey, I'm a podcaster, interviewer. I'm not media because those are things that were sacred in my household, right? Broadcast media, like my mom, her Facebook page, even at when she passed away, literally had on air, like the on air call symbol. So those are things that like really mean something to me. But like to be a
Right.
reporter, I think Luke Thomas said it best. To be a reporter, you have to get to the nitty gritty of like a story and all that jazz, and that could get an ostracization. There you go. I think I did it. Of a fighter, a gym, a manager that manages this whole cavalcade of MMA stars, and then now you're doing the thing, but you basically got backrolled because you pissed off one person, right? And you can look at it as a negative connotation, like I can't do the thing, or you're like, okay, well, I'm not. How about I'm not that, right? Look at Brendan Schaub for all the things that he has been getting lambasted for, and some is justified, right? But this is somebody who played high level college football, played in the NFL, was on the Ultimate Fighter, and at one time was the top 10 heavyweight, one of the top 10 heavyweights in the world, right?
Right.
But even still, had Joe Rogan go, bro, you're not an elite fighter, that famous clip. And he has done more just talking, right? And
Yeah.
more for his family and everything, even more so than the great things that he did previous to his podcast, his comedy, and all of that jazz. So if it's good, if just being a personality is good enough for Brendan Schaub with all the things that he accomplished in his life, fuck it.
Right.
It's
Right.
I'm a personality. Cool.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you are the brand. Like, you really are. And I mean, kudos to you. Like, the way, I mean, I don't know, like you talk about like being ostracized and for being kind of just for being yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the way I see it is like, because I thought about this and it's like, I felt at times, I feel like, am I getting full of myself? Should I believe I'm this person? Like those doubts start to creep in. And I'm like, dude, if I piss someone off, if I have haters, honestly, like I'm probably doing something right. Like, but that's never the goal. But
Right.
like I appreciate you, like your podcast format. Just you brought it out of me. Like you brought this side of me that I honestly that I wanted to come out. Like this side of me that I love, like this humanity side, like talking about like just life and like existing and who we are as humans and how to better ourselves. Like this is what I love discussing. And like sometimes I'll go off and like I just get these blank stares and it's just like, and it's when I realize like some people just aren't receptive to what you want to say, like, and it's that's okay. Like the people that love you, like the people that support you, and that's just gonna grow. Like, like you clearly are a good person. Like you clearly, like I can like, like you sense vibes from people. Like you get the vibe from people, and I see what you're trying to do. Like, and you see what I'm trying to do, and like,
Yeah.
and like we have this mutual respect and understanding, and like, and like so thank you for creating this like this podcast chemistry that it's very important. Like it's super important. Like it, I love people like you. Like they bring the good. There's no negativity. Like it's just,
Dude, I love you too. Like, thank you for positively affecting my friends at Subfighter MMA. Well, the guys, and I'm so honored to call a Moses Murrieta, an Adam Lynn, a Diana Mendoza, Andrew Freelove, a Jeff Mellor, and countless others. I'm proud to call you guys my friends. That's
yeah,
so cool of me to say. And again, fan first, all the other stuff later, right?
right,
And just the fact that they have a you and you have a them to feed off of positive energy and even some of the negative. I remember there was a epic fighting fight with Free Love, and
yeah,
and he was feeling down on himself, and shout out to Free Love, shout out to his fiance, both wonderful people, right? And Adam Lynn spoke to Free Love in a way that, again, only Adam Lynn, former military person, Same thing with Free Love, former military person, right? If Free Love had been in another gym or whatever, I don't think he would have got that insight, you
Right.
know? So it's
Right.
just like people who are uniquely put, and I pulled
Yes.
Adam aside and I was just like, yo, bro, thank you. Thank you. Because, and especially, you know, going through the military, there's trauma there and mental, physical, emotional, spiritual trauma. And, you know, there are people, I mean, real talk, that you know, end up committing suicide, live in depression. My dad got drafted into the military, was never quite the same. One would argue that him being stationed in Korea during Nam was, you know, he basically was sprayed with Agent Orange and it, you know, expedited all of his arthritis and diabetes and everything like that. So it's a very real thing. But again, like Free Love and Coach Adam could connect in a way that other people, you, Jeff, Diana, Moses, won't get to. So I
Right.
was so thankful in that moment of, I wouldn't say Free Love was in despair, but he was definitely questioning like the purpose. And
Right.
for Adam to speak like he did, he like that's what they needed. That was like the spiritual like well that he needed to tap into. And it's just
Right.
like,
And dude, yeah, like shout out to Adam too again. Like he has that effect on, and like, and it's so beautiful that you brought it like that example out of like Free Love and Adam at their fight, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
mhm,
I feel like I know exactly what kind of talk,
yeah.
when it's harsh and strict and
Hmm.
like very honest, brutally honest.
Yeah.
Um, brutal honesty is key, and like I feel like that, like my coach, when he's like when Adam talks, dude, I listen and I digest and I absorb every word he says, um because when like it just seems like when I do that, like, and I apply these things to my life, like this is the outcome, like that knockout, like this is the outcome. And Adam instills in me like discipline, and I don't think, like, honestly, he's like because you know, like I'll take this back to like my roots. Like my dad's a very, very hard worker.
Yeah.
He's a very you know, he grinded, he busted his ass, but he caters, just like me, he caters to the emotions of others. He was a bit enabling growing up. I was a shithead growing up. How could he not be enabling to a kid who's so, like, why, like me, I'm just me, like I'm, you know, I'm wild, I'm a wild person. And um Adam really is like almost like a father figure to me, in the sense of like he's instilled discipline in me, which is something I never had. And a man like me, who's like, now I'm able to use discipline to channel myself and guide like myself to where, like, I'm a dangerous man. I'm a man on a mission now. Like, and like, I'm so grateful for my, and that's, I talked about, I was like, dude, Adam, like, I never need to switch camps. Like, I have everything I need right here. Like,
Yeah.
it's about me. And like, and I think, yeah, these relationships that we have are so beautiful. Like, and the dynamics that you have with
Hmm.
each person is so different. And so, but like, for me, like, um, my light and their light like merge, like our lights merge, and like it's like this you know, copacetic, I don't know the word for it, but
Yeah.
like copacetic relationship, or like
Copacetic, synergistic. Yeah.
synergistic like relationship that I have with everyone and the world and the environment around me. Like, dude, you learn so much from people. Like, that's life, man. Like we just exist and we're here for a short time, and we have our relationships and the people we love, and the things we hold dear to us. And like, how could you complain? Like, how, like, there's nothing to, I don't know, like there's always a, I will say though that, to, I think for me at least, to be whole and complete, because I've always been very like almost dangerously optimistic,
Hmm.
um, I had to understand the dark. I had to understand the, and it's not evil, just the, um the indifference of the universe. The universe is indifferent. Like if an asteroid were to come right now and just destroy me, like no one's helping me, no one's saving me. There is no, and in that sense, like we talk about belief change, like my morality has completely shifted as of late. Like I don't cater to the emotional needs of others as nearly as much as I used to. Like I'm not scared to speak my mind. It's okay to say no. No, I don't agree with you. I still love you and I'm your friend, but I don't agree with you. And like I've never been that person. I've always been too agreeable. And like again, shout out to Adam. Shout out to my homie Jeff Craig. Like because Jeff is very like he's one of my best friends. He's very like he doesn't give a shit. He does not give a fuck. He's just, you know, he's in his own lane, and like I've kind of adopted that, and now I'm in my own lane, and I think highly of myself, and I kind of have to. Like that's not my natural disposition to be so super confident and super like that's not my natural disposition. It's plagued by I've always been plagued by insecurity and this and that, but I learned how to harness and channel that negative self-talk into something positive, into growth. You know, like, oh, I didn't like this about myself. Well, awesome. Let's fix it. Let's change it. Why just sit there and not like something about myself? Like, no, like we have time. We have time in the day. Like,
yeah,
I can sit around on my ass and scroll, and scroll on my phone and kill time and watch TV and do all this bullshit. Or I can go write, I can go read, I can go train, I can talk to a friend, I can do what I feel is important with my time, and I think everyone has things that are particular to themselves, and they should do those things that better themselves. They should, like they really should. That's my message, is like, go get after what you love. Like what are you waiting for? Time is so limited. Like what are you waiting for? You know?
Exactly. Oh, I love it. Oh gosh, I'm so glad we did this. And Nate ran so kind. I almost teared up, but that's why Adam Woods is a Fraser Crane of sports podcasting. He brings out the side of people during interviews. Like, thank you. That's just so kind, and that means so much to me. You don't even know. But obviously, to get some of the positivity of Mark Zarrinkelk, where can they find you on social media?
You can find me Mark Zarin. So just take out the Kelk in my last name. Zarrinkelk means golden pen in Farsi. Quick side note: Zarin.
I love it.
Kelk is like a colloquial term for pen. But yeah, so Mark Zarin on Twitter. I don't use Twitter as nearly as much. I'll go on Twitter randomly. I'm sure I will be utilizing Twitter more later in my career. Mm-hmm. But for right now, mostly I'm on Instagram. Just Mark Zarin. Mark Zarin on Instagram. I don't think that handle's going to change. I think I can just keep it at Mark Zarin my whole career. I might change it to Mark Zarin MMA at some point, but Mark Zarin, find me on there. Follow me. When I get to where I want to be, like, this is just the beginning of my career. Like this clip that people have seen of me is just it's so that like they don't see all the hard work that goes into it. So yeah, if you want to follow me and get a glimpse into who I am, and really it's for you guys. It's for you guys to see that like I am no different than any one of you. I am not special. I am not like, I'm just some dude who was tired of his circumstance and said fuck being average. I want to see how far I can take my life. And that's what it is. Life's about learning, and I'm learning about who I am and how far I can take myself. So, Mark Zarin, let's learn together. Let's learn about each other. I love interacting with people. I love people so much. People are like the music. People are the soundtrack of life that make life like rich and full, and so Mark Zarin, Instagram, follow me. And it's all love. It's all
That's
love.
all love, bro. I appreciate you doing this. This is, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And this is so much more than I bargained for. And I love it. I love it, you know? So, I mean,
More than
geez.
I bargained for too. I had no idea what I was going to talk about.
But that's it. That's it. You know, it's like, oh, do you have questions? Like, no, fuck. How'd you get into it? That's probably the only question. You look at Josh Barnett, you look at Frank Trigg, you look at everybody, whatever. This is how. Okay?
Right.
And then we fucking go from there. That's
And
it.
we go from
It's the
there.
best. I'm just saying.
Go with
But
the flow.
again, we're going up. We're going up in the world. And you definitely want to go ahead and follow Mark Kazarian on all of his social medias. And again, if you could do so kindly, if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the According to Woods podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And I mean, Mark, you're subscribed, right?
I am subscribed,
Just-
and I would encourage anyone else to subscribe. You can say that you were following Adam. You know, when he gets to where he wants to be, you guys will be one of the people that have been riding with him from the jump. And same with me, like you know, riding. You know, like real recognizes real, and like Adam, I'm grateful for you for having me on. It's such an honor, such a privilege to come on here, and what an incredible dude you are, and I'm stoked to probably meet you in person one of these days and shoot the shit with you.
Yeah.
Man, life is good. Like, cheers to life. You know,
Cheers to life. I will cheers to that, good sir. So, again, I couldn't have asked for a better endorsement. So, thank you, Mark, for that. I appreciate it in the umpteenth. But, I mean, if you don't believe me, if you don't believe Mark, and I don't know why you wouldn't, well, here's Pro Wrestler Zeta Zhang.
Hey, this is Zeta Zhang. Make sure you subscribe to According to Woods